up, guys? It's Casey's Raw again, and today we are continuing a closer look in my video game collection and consoles. Today is pretty much the crown jewel, the Rolls Royce in collection, the Rolex of video games, the Neo Geo AES. And you're wondering what the heck is the AES. And if I zoom in right here, it'll tell you exactly what it is, right there. Advanced Entertainment System. And it shows like max 330 mega. But, pretty much what the Neo Geo is considered a 24-bit system. And you're like, I never heard of a 24-bit system. Well, Neo Geo's AES, they're pretty uncommon. So, they're worth, like, gosh, I mean, back then, I think it was like $500 in the early 90s, so it was really hard for people to collect for these. I mean, yes, $500 more commonplace nowadays with the PlayStations and the Xboxes. So, yes, but this was back then in early 90s, and $500 was like, probably, with inflation, probably you can tack $1,000 on top of that. But, yes, you could look to the left and you're like, oh, it has an arcade stick. Well, that's what comes with the Neo Geos. That's their version of their controller, is an arcade stick. So let's take a closer look at that. And it even says right there, the Advanced Entertainment Center and the same specs as you got, what does it say? Pad A, B, C, D. Kind of the same, almost the same lineup as the Sega Genesis a little bit. And, I'm sure you guys are wondering, what's this thing right here? Well, this is my NVS adapter that'll let me play my Neo Geo NVS arcade games onto my Neo Geo AES games. And I've been having a blast playing real arcade boards on my console. And the NVS games are cheaper than the AES games because NVS carts are a lot easier to come by than the AES games. So the AES games are not only more rare, they're more expensive. So let's look at the collection. And that's where I sit my Neo Geo games, on the side where my PlayStation bookshelf is. And right beside that is my arcade 1-up. And my laptop, and in front of it has my Nintendo box, or Nintendo crate that has a bunch of my controllers. It's a good thing to hold all my controllers. Oh, there's one other thing I'd like to tell you. I forgot to tell you guys about this part, about the system. I picked up at my local toy store, and actually at this time I saw one or two of these around my local area, and this one was a little bit cheaper, and I think I paid $375. And I believe that right now it's going upwards past that. It's got to be like $400 or $500 for the system now. Trying to even get another controller is quite expensive as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the the shelf with all the games, and I'll show you what I got in the collection. On top, what I got are my Neo Geo AES games. I got 4 of them in their cases. Let me show you what one looks like. I'll pull it out of the shelving without dumping the whole. So here's one. I paid $85 for Super Spy. So let's open this one up. And this is what it looks inside. Sometimes you have a manual and paperwork. Like this one does have a manual right there. The cases are starting to get brittle because, gosh, what is this? 1990? 32 years old. So it's not like it's not brand new anymore. And this is what a Neo Geo AES cart looks like. Has 2 boards inside instead of 1. And it's like size. Gosh, I'm trying to compare it to. It's definitely the biggest cartridge out there. There's no other cartridge for video games bigger than this. I mean, let me try to pull out a comparison to this Neo Geo cart. Here's a Neo Geo cart, and there's an NES cart. So it's almost as tall. It's taller than the NES cart, and gosh, almost about quarter longer, a third longer than the NES. And it looks even more ridiculous if you have like the N64 cart or Sega Genesis. I can show you. That's probably one of the tallest games. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Bam! It just towers over it. So, yeah, so I got Super Spy. Let's go through a bunch of these. Honestly, you can tell a lot of these are Japanese, because a lot of times it's easier to get Japanese games and cheaper than American ones. And I thought that Super Spy was American, but I still think that's a Japanese version. Pulling this one out. I believe this is Fatal Fury 2. That's the back end, what it looks like. Get. This is Samurai Spirits, and I believe it's Samurai Showdown in America. And I think this next one is the sequel, I believe. It's Samurai Spirits. But I believe, yeah, like I said, I believe this is the sequel. And got a couple of these loose. Like, this is King of Fighter 94. And I believe this is Fatal Fury Special. And then, if you have a Neo Geo, I highly suggest to get one of these multi-cart. This one is 161 M1 multi-cart. They do have a couple versions of this. This is the AES version, and there is the MVS version. Please beware what you buy. I had to be careful to get that. I wanted to get the AES one. And this is before I even had that adapter. some of them do sell the adapter with the NVS. So, let's go ahead and move down to where my NVS games are now. From here on is NVS games. From left, you got Metal Slug 1. And the labels are kind of like, they look like VHS labels, if you ask me. And this is one side with the arrow. This is the side you plug it into. I guess this is the front side. And same thing, 2 boards. And here, before we move on, to make this work, obviously, you take the adapter, line it up, and I suggest do this like this before you plug it into your Neo Geo, because I would not suggest doing that, not doing it in the system, because it might damage your AES. So, I love this adapter. It works great. And I love my Metal Slugs. I don't remember. I think I picked up Metal Slug 1 off eBay. I picked up Metal Slug 2 at my local game store, and I picked it up for $60. I think that was a good deal for Metal Slug. And these are arcade boards. And this is actually a bootleg Metal Slug X. I just did a review on it. And the person I bought this from, the case was all busted, so I had to buy a reproduction case. And they said it was non-working, but it does work. But I'm pretty sure the sound's not working great. But it's still a fun game, and Metal Slug X is a 2.5 to Metal Slug 2. The next one is Metal Slug 3. I did pick this one up at the video game store. Paid that much, $140. I think a lot of those high price ones, I probably traded a lot of stuff and to lower down the price. This is King of the Monsters. Then, got Burning Fight. See how much cheaper they are than the... Well, I mean, I paid $30. Some of these I actually paid cheaper, the AES ones, but this is pre-pandemic. 3 Count Bout. I think this is a boxing game. I believe I did a review on this. Let's go down to the next level. To the left, you got Art of Fighting 2. Then you got, right beside that, is King of the Fighters 99. Then you got Fatal Fury 2. A lot of these I picked up at the video game store. World Heroes 2. Baseball Stars Professional. And I like Baseball Stars Professional. Street Hoops. I really enjoy Street Hoops. I first played it on that multi-cart, and I really enjoy it. That's the international version. And then you got the Soccer Brawl. Also, that one's about a soccer game. Going down to the last level, you got King of the Fighters 2001. Then you got Next Glory Super Sidekick. That's 3. That's a soccer game. Then you got Football Frenzy. Football. American football. You got Samurai Showdown. The arcade version. And actually, that one was my first Neo Geo NVS board. Then you got Art of Fighting 1, World Heroes 1, and then you got King of the Fighters 2000. And that is it. I enjoy playing Neo Geo. I love the arcade version. One of my favorite Neo Geo games is Super Baseball 2020. I do not have that on board, but I do have it on the multi-cart, and I have had it on the... I believe I have it on... I have that several versions. And I believe it's on my RK1-Up. So, thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.